Did you know that Amazon lose money on the first purchase that a customer makes on Amazon? How can the biggest business in the world lose money when they acquire a customer? The reason for that is something called lifetime value. Look, there's two metrics that you've got to work with in e-commerce, okay? These two metrics, if you could fully control these, you have an unlimited money printing machine. And that is customer acquisition cost, which is your CAC, and LTV, which is your lifetime value. Now, the reason why Amazon can pay for a customer, so their CAC, and lose money is because they recuperate the money on their lifetime value. Now, for a business to be able to lose money on their CAC, they've got to have an extremely strong understanding of the lifetime value. And to be honest, they need to have confidence in customers returning again. Now, the reason they're able to do this is because their e-commerce ecosystem is set up for return customers. Because they're winning that game, everybody else they're competing with, they need to make money on the upfront. They don't need to make money on the upfront. They make money later down the line. And that is the power of understanding the lifetime value. If you can really spend more money to acquire customers, you are winning that ad battle. Because it's who can spend the most money to acquire a customer, that's who wins. And the way you do that is by having your CAC and LTV working against each other. And I'm going to share in this video a few things that you can actively do in your fashion brand to affect the lifetime value. Okay? So, when it comes to CAC, you have to understand your CAC and have a target for it. I'm not saying you start taking a loss up front, but there is systems that you need to have in order to make that CAC a blended CAC, right? So, let me just explain it this way. Let's say you get a customer for $50 this month, okay? Next month, that customer spends another $50, and at the end of the year, that customer spends another $50. Now, if you get that customer into your business this month by paying for him, and it's $25, or let's say $30, you've made $20 in profit straight away. However, that customer, if they're in your ecosystem and then they convert later down the line through a subscription, let's say, or a rewards program or email marketing, if they then convert two extra times, you've only paid £10 or $10 in your CAC, customer acquisition cost, to get that customer. Okay, so you've gone and taken $30 to get a customer and $20 in profit. You've spreaded it over 3 orders, and that's known as your blended CAC. Now, you want to have a good idea of what your blended CAC is, because you have confidence that if you spend the money this month, later down the line, you're going to recuperate that money. And that's really the power in e-commerce, If you're running paid ads and it's expensive and you've just started doing it, the reason why it is so expensive is because you don't have those customers to come and return that you should have been acquiring 6 months ago, right? Now, if you do want to affect the lifetime value, there's a few things that you want to do, specifically for e-commerce. So let me just give you an idea on why this is different for fashion brands in particular. So let's say that you're selling cold plungers for $5,000, and that's all you sell. Well, you're going to have zero lifetime value. Like, you're probably going to have one person in 500 come and return and buy another cold plunge for a friend, but nobody's buying multiple $5,000 cold plungers. Right? So if you're wanting to build lifetime value and have a really good CAC, in relation to how many sales that you're making, that can't be on a product like that. You need products there to be able to increase the lifetime value. And let's say you're selling clothing, right? If you're selling t-shirts in the summer, then if you're wanting to increase the lifetime value of each customer, you want to be selling something to that same customer. But if you're trying to get the lifetime value to increase at the end of the year, then it needs to be a winterized product. So this is one of the first levers that you have. Figure out what is the cycle of your customers, how often are they going to shop, and how can you make them shop more? Well, if you're selling clothing, people are going to shop in winter and summer, different seasons. So this is the importance of bringing out different seasons, right? And this is the importance of having a congruent style. Or let's say a customer buys, let's say you sell rucksacks and duffel bags. I met a guy in Manchester the other day who had a brand selling like leather keep all bags. They sort of look like the Louis Vuitton ones. Pretty good quality, pretty plain, but nice. And if you're trying to increase the lifetime value of selling a product like that, you'd maybe want to sell a duffel bag, then a rucksack, or you might want to sell a duffel bag and a passport holder, or a passport holder and a wallet, or a phone case and a wallet. These are the things that you've got to bear in mind to try and increase your lifetime value, but you actually need another shoppable product there. If you're specializing in one product and you're just bringing the same color out over and over again, is it the type of product that people are buying on a consistent basis? And what's a reasonable time frame that you can figure out to where that customer will shop again? Because there's another thing to bear in mind as well. If you're wanting customers to shop again and again, if you're selling expensive products, are they going to be able to buy them every month? If you're selling just a coat, how often are they buying new coats? These are the type of things you can start thinking about when it comes to ordering your products. And when you understand some of the bestsellers that you've got and the seasons coming up and the type of things you can do, design products that you want to do, but also design products that fulfill a purpose of increasing these actual real metrics in your business, because that's what's going to do better. Number 2, one of the best ways that you can increase your lifetime value, email marketing. Email marketing. It's free to reach customers and you can send targeted, segmented information, right? So what people usually do on email is they don't take care of their email and they just send blast emails out to their entire list. But the smart brands and the brands that are really winning, what they're able to do is they're able to look at their customer data and they're able to see how frequent people are likely to shop again on their store. So if they know they've got an average, if they know on average customers who bought in January are coming and buying again in December, then they have a product for each person, right? And the same way, if they know that customers are only shopping on sale events, you don't really want to be attracting customers that are shopping on sale events. However, if you are having customers shopping every single sale event, then you want to be sending emails to customers that shopped on sale events. So these are the little things that you can do with email marketing to increase your lifetime value, because you're able to target people based on behaviors, which is something that you cannot do on your social media, and it's something you cannot do on your SEO, right? This is why it's one of the strongest forms of marketing you can do for your brand. But it's about understanding the time frames, and you really got to spend some time looking at your numbers. I mean, luckily we've got AI here, and we can just put it through Claude, and you can literally just have a conversation with Claude, and it will do it all for you and give you the best numbers you couldn't even write down and have your own spreadsheet to figure out the numbers it can give you. It's just from your creativity. If you sit down with it for a little bit, you can really understand these numbers, and you can make much better decisions. Much better decisions. Next thing you can do, lifetime value, you might want to do something like a rewards program. Now, the reason why a rewards program is good is because, you are going to be offering a discount to customers more than likely, but what you're actually able to do is incentivize them to shop again at your brand. You look at a brand like Represent, they've got one of the best reward programs in the industry. The reason why that's so important is because you can pay for customers manually, right? But this is the difference. If you pay Facebook and you don't make the sale, you're still paying that money, my friend, and the cost is changing. However, if you pass the discount to a customer for an action, they have to buy something to redeem it. And you choose how much they're getting off. So as long as you can give a profitable amount, right? As long as you figure out, well, if I'm paying a £30 CAC, if I give £15 off in the rewards program, I'm still more profitable. And you'd rather pay £15 to acquire a customer in the rewards program than nothing. Okay, it's just another way that you can keep the customer data. You can also have your rewards program going out to your email list as well, and it's just another way to capture the data and pass the discount on to the customer, because a customer will feel loyalty if they're getting rewarded and they're seen as part of a group and they're actually getting recognized for being a loyal customer. That's going to actually incentivize people to shop again. That is going to increase your lifetime value, and you having a hold of that data, that's data that you actually own. You can do sale events for the rewards program. You can do extra points weekends. You can do extra points for your birthday. Follow us on social media. You can do private events for the points. There's so many things that you can do with it, and that's a big thing to affect it, right? The next thing, this might seem an obvious one, and this is going to be the last one, but it's just your overall customer service and housekeeping. I mean, look, never underestimate the value in treating your customers very well. And I know you're watching this and thinking, I treat my customers amazing, but what's the extra things that you can do? I mean, I used to literally call customers on the Shopify dashboard, right, if they were having a problem. And I actually called a guy once who bought a few items from me, right? He ordered about 3 items, and my average order value was like 180. We were buying shoes at the time, so he spent a decent amount. And I called him, and I found out on the phone that he was visually impaired, right? And from that day forward, I told him he should call me if he needs anything. And that guy ended up spending another £3,000 in my business, one of my top customers, right? All from a phone call and an extra personal touch. Now, even if you don't get that sort of result, right? If you're ringing someone, nobody else is doing that. Yeah? And once you build that human connection and you really show that you care, this might even be an order going missing and you're getting on the phone and straight solving it with them. People appreciate that, and people underestimate how many people you actually need to build a successful brand. Like, you can manually convince 100 people by your personal face-to-face or phone-to-phone interaction to buy your brand over and over. And when you can manually do this, guess what? That's also free. And when you build that goodwill with people and they're looking at your brand differently, that's the main thing that you have against all the bigger brands, right? If you're looking at represent, they can't manually call individual people. George Heaton is not going to do that. However, if you're a small team, you can pick up the phone and speak to people and build those individual connections. And, let's just do the numbers on it. Let's say you could do 20 a day for a month. That's a lot of people. That's a lot of people. You can convince 100 people to come back just by picking up the phone and building that one-on-one connection. And that is going to mean that those people, they're more receptive to your marketing, your brand is more top of mind, they're going to remember you more over other people, and it's out-the-box thinking with a little bit of effort. And that goes a really, really long way. So definitely something to think about, guys. But look, if you do a combination of those things to increase your lifetime value, you will see customers shopping again. And you'll just put your business in a much better position. But lifetime value, customer acquisition cost, 2 things that you need to have on your mind. All the best. I'll see you in the next one.